Hey girls, it's Wednesday! Guilty pleasures are really hard for me to talk about because I have a million guilty pleasures. There are a lot of things that I am completely in love with that is probably not healthy. But I'm going to give you a quick overview of probably my top 4. So the first one is one you already know about. I made a whole video about it back in March, and that is my addiction to TV. Just so you understand the full scope of this, since I made that video, March 16th, I think was the date of that video. So 3 months have passed, 3.5, and since then, when I made that video, I was about halfway through the 2nd season of Dead Like Me. So I finished that, watched the movie that they made after the series, which wasn't very good. I watched all 3 seasons of Robin Hood. I watched both seasons of Legend of the Seeker. I rewatched Firefly. I rewatched all 6 seasons of Supernatural. I watched Sherlock, the new BBC show that has kind of exploded on Tumblr, which is why I watched it. I also watched both seasons of Dark Angel, and I watched the 5th season of Skins. And I've watched, various Doctor Who episodes. I watched the continuing episodes of Nikita and the Vampire Diaries. Ridiculous. I watch way too much TV. Number 2 is kind of along the lines of number 1, in that it's a TV show. And I think I may have mentioned this before, but not in so many words. I love the TV show Drake and Josh. It was only 4 seasons, I think, on Nickelodeon, and it obviously starred Drake Bell and Josh Peck, who I think are hilarious. I mean, they're like kid actors, but I totally love them. They're both completely adorable, and that show makes me really happy. My third guilty pleasure is that I love really bad movies. 2 of my favorite movies, of all time, which are really cheesy, not very good movies, are Renaissance Man with Danny DeVito. I don't even really like Danny DeVito, but I love that movie. And the Super Mario Brothers movie with Bob Hoskins and John Leguizamo. Love that movie. So good. So bad, but so good. And finally, my number 4 guilty pleasure, which you probably already know too. All of these are kind of things that you already know, except maybe my thing about the movies. First of all, I love fan fiction, and I don't think that's something to feel guilty. I a little bit feel guilty about my kind of obsession with slash fanfiction, which is fanfiction which involves 2 male characters in the show or movie or book or whatever in a romantic relationship. Some of them are canon. I love Brian and Justin from Queer as Folk and Jack and Nieto from Torchwood. And some of them are not so much canon, but could potentially be canon if you stretch really, really far. My top 5 right now that I have been reading a lot of are Harry and Draco from Harry Potter, Dean and Castiel from Supernatural, Brian and Justin, obviously, Jack and Nieto, which I already said, and then Sherlock Holmes and John Watson from the BBC version of Sherlock. like I said before, I have a million billion other guilty pleasures, and I could probably list them all off for you, but I'm sure I would forget some, and I don't really want this video to be 12 minutes long. So enjoy laughing at my guilty pleasures. I look forward to hearing the other girls' guilty pleasures in the next couple days, and subscribers, you should tell us your guilty pleasures. For sure. I want to know what makes you guys tick. You can put them in the comments of any of these videos this week, or if you really want to, which would be super cool, you could make a response video and post it to one of our videos this week. You should do that, because that would be cool. Anyway, Sarah, I will see you and your guilty pleasures tomorrow.